Quack. 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 12 and... Oh! I'm your host, Adam Shamail.
And I'm Amos Woda.
That is right, and this is the Quack 12 podcast, the most official, unofficial Oregon Ducks sporting podcast on the web footosphere.
And Adam, I hate to break it to you.
Ooh?
This just in, across the news desk.
Ooh?
We're also the most unofficial webcast.
We're the most unofficial, so we are official.
Yeah, unofficially.
Unofficially. Oh, okay, so we can't, say we're official. But
Unofficially, we can officially
most...
say. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad that's on the record. That is wonderful to hear because we are here to talk about Oregon basketball when no one else wants to.
Oh, shit.
But before we get into that, Aaron, there was a holiday, a holy day, if you will. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
No, I did not.
Oh, my goodness. Are you American even?
Yeah, I'm Texan. I don't know if that makes me American, but
slightly. It's a subcategory, but yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you do instead of watching the Super Bowl? What were you doing? Puppy Bowl?
Oh, no, I was when was that? That was yesterday?
It was Sunday. Yes, it was
Sunday?
Super Bowl Sunday.
I was in the studio. I was working.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Well, I can't really call it work. I was having a great time playing with music.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's what they've said.
Podcast.
I can officially report though that if you love what you do, it can still absolutely feel like work.
No, it can suck. Absolutely.
Oh, it can suck.
It can absolutely suck. Dan Lanning loves being a coach, and he lost to Washington twice. Those days, I'm sure.
I mean. And one of them was on a bad call. That's neither here nor there of a hide's tail.
Absolutely. What? I don't know. I did watch the Super Bowl. I hate both teams. I really wasn't rooting. I was kind of rooting for if Kansas City won, at least it'd be fun because, a lot of the people that hate the Chiefs, hate Taylor Swift, a lot of them are people I like to see upset. So that would have been fun. At the same time, they were somewhat the underdogs, but they've already won, a couple and blah, blah, blah. They've already won 3 of them. So
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's been my understanding that, Patrick Mahomes has never not been to a divisional championship game.
Oh.
In his very storied career that's super short. And he just keeps winning Super Bowls. He's the new Tom Brady. He is basically the poster child for the corporate level of the NFL, Adam.
There you go. And Niners I've never really been a fan of because I like the Seahawks. And there are 2 Ducks on the Niners, though. So if I was going to root for them, obviously Eric Armstead and Diamador Lenore both had good games. You can't blame them, really, for the loss.
I mean, I don't know word one about it. What was the final score?
It went to overtime.
Really?
Chiefs won by 4. Yeah, it was a good game. It started off real slow. It was real defensive in the beginning. Diamador Lenore did force a fumble, though, so there's a highlight for you. And, but...
A Super Bowl fumble? Baby doll. Come on.
Super Bowl fumble.
That's elite.
Wasn't enough for him, though. Patrick Mahomes did the Patrick Mahomes thing and led a game-winning drive.
Brother.
In the very end, Niners should have gone for it at the end instead of going for the field goal. They also missed a point after. Missed a point after, which
that'll do it. That'll
one
do it.
reason why they went to the overtime.
That's a morale bummer right there.
Yeah.
What's funny about Mahomes?
What's that?
I mentioned this briefly off air, and we won't go into the details of what we were discussing then. But Mahomes is from White House, which is my stomping grounds for a certain amount of time.
White House, Texas.
There's a certain type of character that lives in that neck of the woods that when you're a kid, they're kind of the most fun friend because they're the ones that will absolutely get down into the creek and get like super goofy on catching frogs. You know what I mean?
So they're down in the crack catching crawdads.
Yeah, you might say they're real slippery type.
Toad boys.
And Mahomes, I think, encapsulates that character so beautifully as a quarterback. It's highly entertaining watching him play QB, I have to admit.
So you think those days in the cracks of White House, Texas,
watched it.
helped him out?
I watched it in the divisional championship. There was, I mean, talk about it. He doesn't get sacked, dude.
Yeah, no, he's good.
And there was he got rolled up by somebody, and I mean, it looked like both of his knees should have broken, but it wasn't that. It was that he had just decided to contort his body in such a way as that he could frog jump out of the grip that this dude had. And I was like, that's some White House shit right there.
That's some White House. That's a White House boy.
That's a White House boy right there.
Well, the White House boy wins it again, so I guess for
congratulations.
that narrative's sake. Commercials weren't that great. My favorite was with...
I heard they were really good. People always say that, though.
Most of them were... There was some interesting propaganda.
I heard that.
Yeah. Israel had an ad. That's good.
Heard about that.
Jesus certainly had an ad.
Heard about that one.
Big year for Jesus ads. Also... I guess those are kind of conflicting. And then
not really anymore. No. They serve the same God, my friend.
Same God. That's right. And then my favorite was Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck.
I heard about this.
That was a good one. I like that one.
There's
Dunkin' Donuts.
There's a societal commentator out in the world that brought up the fact, why do we have so many celebrities in these ads when a majority of them, and he brought up the Ben Affleck and the Jennifer Lopez, they have, and like Larry David's crypto one and so many others, they are so beyond wealthy. The amount of money
do you have to give
the amount of money they're making from the commercial is a drop in the bucket. So what other reason could they be doing it? And he mentioned things like where Michael Cera did that commercial, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's been purported that actors of his level will do these commercials because it'll help pay for projects.
I think so, yeah.
Which I think is great.
And they get money for real easy work, but yeah.
Yeah. But then it did make me think, why is Jennifer Lopez in a commercial? Is it that she just probably wants to work because working is fun in the entertainment business, and she just wants to stay out there?
For real, though, I'm throwing this number out. I don't know.
Hit me.
Even for someone who's I got 60 million. I don't know what Jennifer Lopez has. 600 million?
I would bet 600 million. 600 million seems safe.
I got $600 million in the bank. They may be actually coming up to her and being like, we will give you $1 million to do the equivalent of 1 hour of work, which will mainly require you sitting down, saying 2 lines, kissing your butt, transporting you there and here, making sure, you don't even have to drive that. I think that's kind of what it comes down to. I'm in a Super Bowl ad. It is big. It's the reason why they didn't have to pay Usher, just the promotion sake of it and stuff like that.
You know what else it is too?
What's that?
This used to be true. I don't know if it still is, because we are dealing with a higher level of celebrity in commercials. But it used to be the deal that commercial actors, if you were like a Flo, right? You're going to be making serious mailbox money, because not only do you get paid for that time on set, but you get residuals for every time that commercial airs. And so if your character gets 10 of these commercials, you're making hella bank. So really, these Jennifer Lopez types theoretically could be I work for 1 hour. They pay me $1 million to be there. But then I'm going to net about $60K a month
Something like
just
that.
from the fact,
I think they try to
maybe
stop
let's say
showing the commercials as soon as possible for those reasons too.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, no, I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah.
I think there's only one commercial I actually want to talk about, and I think it's fascinating because it's so. I mean, I'm about to get super political here.
Is
and
this
so
a Super Bowl commercial, or are you just shouting out? Okay.
This was a Super Bowl commercial that notoriously cost $7 million to get placed. So this company paid $7 million to place this. But because it cost so much to get that placement, they had a $0 budget. So what did they do? They recorded...
Is this the Will Ferrell one? Or?
No. They recorded a phone recording of themselves, like
That's right.
maybe in a car, talking about go to this company's website. And it turns out, I looked into it, they paid $7 million for that placement.
Do you remember the company?
Yeah, I do. In 24 hours, they just off of this one ad, they netted $15 million in sales in 24 hours.
What's the company?
Yeezy.com. Kanye West. Did you see this?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Well, good. If there's anyone that needs more money and more power, it's Kanye West.
If there's anybody that needs more proof that he can do nothing and just pay a ticket price,
oh yeah,
he will be rewarded at the gates.
That wasn't this last Super Bowl though. This is a different one, right?
I think it was this Super Bowl.
So that's what I understand. You had Kanye West, you had Israel, and you had Jesus. All with promotions in the same.
You had Yeezus and Jesus, baby.
Yeezus and Jesus.
From Yeezus to Jesus, the story of American culture.
I know that the Jesus ad, something like $20 million or something they spent on it, and it's just like you couldn't have given that to the poor, like the dude said to do.
To any listener out there who has been looking for that. That thing to write your whole, your thesis.
Yeah.
Then
Manifesto.
If you want to write a captivating look at American society, here's your title. It's Yeezus to Jesus. It's Jesus to Yeezus.
Yeah, Jesus to Yeezus.
The story of American capitalism?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
That's a book. That's a book someone would write.
That's a book somewhere.
Well, that's our recap of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I got to say.
Who won? The Chiefs won.
Chiefs did win. They're going for the three-peat next year. Would be the Super Bowl's only
That's
three-peat.
That's a tough one. Cowboys were there once. They were knocking on that door.
They were knocking.
And I think that's also why I don't like the 49ers. I feel like maybe back in the day when I was a kid, did the Cowboys and the 49ers, did they have a little squabble going on?
Probably.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But yeah, as a Seahawks fan, I can't oblige. It's just not allowed. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I can't abide.
Can't abide.
Not allowed either. My man, it's time to kick off the Quacksetball.
Oh, shit.
Quacksetball. 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 And we are back on Quack. That is right. Quacksetball is here, and it is depressing. But before we get into that, let's do a few little plugs. We don't do this enough on this show because I always forget.
Truth.
You know what I mean? Go over to Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. Leave a comment. It helps people find, discover, and cherish the Quack 12 podcast. It really does. 5 stars, Apple Podcasts. It's free. What's not free, but is very much worth the price of admission, is over on the Quack 12 Patreon. For a few measly dollars a month, you can get hundreds, I'm not joking, over 100 hours of duck entertainment, including our Quack in Time series in which we review every single Oregon Ducks football season from the very beginning 1894. I believe we're now in the 60s even over there. Good times, good times. We had to get a time travel machine for that, so please head over there. And not only that, but you can actually get a special sneak early preview. That's right, you can get an early edition of our review of Animal House with the wonderful comedian Adam Brown. That will be over there right now, unless I've fucked up. That is a possibility, but most likely it is up there right now. Early preview, very fun to talk to Mr. Adam Brown.
Probably our best bonus content ever made.
Oh my gosh, and that's saying something because that's also Duck D&D, our Dungeons and Dragons game that we invented to recreate the 2020 Oregon football season. That's over there too, but this is even better. This is even better. So go check that out, listeners, and that'll be on the free feed eventually, but our Patreon subscribers get it early. Just one of the many benefits. Now, Aaron, I'd like to start with women's basketball. So there's a little bit glimmer of a hope. There's a little bit of optimism by the end of the episode. Does that sound good to you?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, let's just say it out loud. Yet again, the women's games didn't even know they happened because they're not being televised. And because they're not being televised, they're not being put on my DVR. And because they're not on my DVR, that means I can't watch them.
What's happening here? What do you have right now TV-wise? Do you have, like, cable? Do you like what are you going through?
I have a expanded package for a
DirecTV?
No, for a cable company.
For a
massive oil drilling, shill sucking.
I get you. Until they're a sponsor, that we won't say their name. But
yeah,
you've got basically
egg salad,
basic ass cable, and then you add the Pac-12. So that's what most people have. I think that's what most bars have and shit like that. So that means they only have one Pac-12 channel. Like at work, when one of these games is going on, we had the Pac-12 network at work, but we didn't have, like, the only way to see most of these Oregon women's games, which by the way have all been taking place against top 25 teams, which you would assume is enough to get the big screen,
something.
But no, Oregon women's basketball is just such an easy W right now that they're not putting it on the main Pac-12 feed because there'll usually be some other Pac-12 game they want to broadcast instead. I have Sling, so I do, for that they have 6 different channels.
Right.
And so on that, they typically do have, like I can find it. I can record these. But that's only through Sling. That's probably only through Sling and maybe through Fubo. So absolutely fumbled it. And it's not because it's the Pac-12's death year. It's because the Pac-12 just is terribly run. Always has been.
Do you think Fubo stands for us by others?
For Us by Others TV. Probably not, but I don't know what it stands for, so your guess is as good as mine. Sure, I'll say yes.
Okay.
But so we started, the women's basketball team, they've had an uphill battle for a while. After these last 2 games, which were both against the Mountain Schools are having a great year in women's basketball.
Yeah.
So against Colorado, this was, I believe, like, I should have this up, but this is like the 5th straight or something like that. I think, basically, we've just been going against top 25 teams non-stop and getting our butts kicked left and right. We had a close game against Oregon State, who's fantastic this season. They're having a great year. But other than that, it's been big losses. So, well, we went against Colorado. This was on the road, and things didn't work out too well. We did have 4 Ducks score in double figures. That's pretty great, actually. That's fantastic, especially with the news that Sophia Bell is out for the season. That is someone who we were really hoping on. That is, new talent that we were hoping to build on, but she's out for the rest of the season. We are, after this, I believe, we are 0-9, or I think before or after the Colorado game, I believe. I should have noted this, but 0-9 versus top 25 teams. So spoiler alert, basically we still have not beaten a top 25 team this season.
That's fine.
We got more.
That
coming
happens.
Up. Yeah, I guess nowadays in the year 2024 it does. We're 0-7 on the road in conference play. 0-8 now after this weekend.
Woo! Let's see if we can get that number up to 10. Then it'll be like, yo, what's up?
What's up? So in this game, Grace Van Sluten really did freaking well. I gotta shout out my girl, Ula Chamberlain. Ula Chamberlain is from Medford. With all the injuries going on, suddenly she's really playing a lot more crucial of a role, playing big minutes. And actually in Colorado, she's one of the only reasons why this was, close for a little bit, I suppose. She got 13 points, which was a season high. She got 4 3-pointers. And, she was a big deal when she did play for South Medford. I believe she is South Medford's all-time leading scorer. That is usually a pretty good basketball program, too. That's where the great Kyle Biddle went. So, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so good for her at least. Colorado, though, could not be stopped. 54% from the floor. 46% from three-point range. Just lighten it up. And that's what they've been this season. And J.R. Payne, their coach, who was Kelly Graves' protege, who I'm always kind of like,
wow,
maybe we should hire her instead if she's doing so well, She's got this team on the up and up. Though, after this game, they did lose to the Beavers. The Beavers are great this year, but just saying, they did lose after this.
Huh.
There was 3 Duck turnovers in the first 3 minutes. There's also an 11-1 Buff run in the first quarter, so they just really took off early. And speaking of taking off, they were 13-0 versus the Ducks in the fast break category. So they were just, once we turned it over, they were down the court and they were scoring.
Right.
And
cool.
So, yeah, I don't really know what to tell you besides this is an embarrassing loss. 90-57. 90-57 against a quality team, but still, we shot 32% from the floor, 50% from 3, 8 of 16 from 3. So actually, that's really good compared to how we normally do.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but we tend to average about 50 points a game, right?
I think we're trending that way. Certainly, I'm intrigued what we would have. I should have that up here. Maybe I can pull it up in a bit. But I want to say like under 60, certainly trending towards 50. That's not good, man.
But we had 57 points. So if we average 60, we're at least not getting worse. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think we're not getting worse, but our competition is getting better. So it's kind of hard to tell if we are getting worse or not.
Yeah.
We are in silver lining time, so I do appreciate the effort you're putting in right now.
I mean, we need something because as long as we stay upbeat about the team, for whatever reason, that'll only help our chances of maybe getting a good transfer, because if we can keep the morale high, the universal energy will pass over to the team somehow.
Hey, you know what? I mean, I don't mind that outlook, actually. I like the unbridled optimism. We're fans. What else are we doing here? Like, we know they stink. What can we say? They out-rebounded us.
Everybody's got a downtime.
Yeah, and this is definitely our time. 46-31, they out-rebounded us. I think that's really what it all came down to. I mean, Filipina Che, sure, she had a good game, 11 points and 8 rebounds. This is actually one of her few games she hasn't had a double-double. But
do we have a breakdown of offensive versus defensive rebounds?
Yes, we do. In general, you want to know that? We had 9 offensive rebounds. So once we were missing, it was unlike we were getting it. And then 22 defensive rebounds, which is pretty good number, but they had 32 defensive rebounds. it's just they're getting more shots and they're making more of them. What can you say?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we get beat by Colorado pretty bad. Then comes
Okay.
Utah. Utah is a worse team, but still a top 25 team. They're top 20 when we played them. And this game, I mean, if you're we're looking for silver linings, yes?
Yeah.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Silver lining here is it was a close game for a good shot. Like, I'll tell you this, dude. I think it was with I got it here somewhere. Hold on. Okay, in the third, about halfway through the third or something, it was a 4-point game, 41-37. We were trailing barely. Filipina Che was a big part of that because she got her 16th double-double. She's doing great. And partially that's because, like, if all thing went perfect, in a perfect world, we've got, like, Angela DeGaulic or Sedona Prince or maybe someone else to spell Filipina Che, so every once in a while, if she's feeling a little down, or we want someone who's maybe a little more offensive-minded, we could put them out there, and Filipina Che would be even better, but she wouldn't maybe be getting all these stats as much, because she's not playing for, like, 35 minutes a game.
Right.
But in this universe, this terrible universe we live in, she's having to do a lot, but also getting a lot of double-doubles, which is cool. She's leading the Pac-12 in double-doubles. 16 double-doubles, to be precise. She got 12 rebounds and 15 points in this one. And not only that, but she was really efficient. She was 7 of 9 from the floor. So she had a great game. Power to her. That being said, no one else did, basically. Grace Van Slooten did well. She's consistently been very solid. 14 points. But Chance Gray, this was a bad weekend in general for her. Her shooting percentage was really bad in Colorado. Against Utah, she was 2 of 9. She hit 1 3-pointer. Overall, our three-pointing last game, it didn't really keep us in the game against Colorado, but we were hitting them. This one, we were 1 of 8. We shot 42% from the floor. Again, we were out-rebounded. No, we out-rebounded them, which probably is the reason why this game was close, 32-24. So actually, we were killing it on the rebounds front, mainly thanks to Filipina Che. And, it was a 4-point game, but then all of a sudden, out of the last 50 points scored, Utah scored 39 of them. That fourth quarter, we completely melted down, and we lost this one 70-48. 70-48, my man.
So maybe we are closer to beginning to average 50 points a game.
Yeah, which isn't good. I mean, I got the stats here. I'm going to pull them up because now I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So
I'd be intrigued.
Yeah, I got the team leader, season total. No, I want the team stats, not the fucking personal stats. Oh, ESPN, how you fail me all the time. Anyways, I don't know, dude. We suck.
Yeah, it's a tough season, super tough season. The one major concern I have is I think what we are seeing now is maybe the beginning of a 3-year stretch, because this is going to be the first truly bad look year where I think it will absolutely affect our recruiting abilities.
Well, yeah.
Especially if we're kind of already a little lazy with recruiting.
We are getting talent, but we're not recruiting at a level that would be competitive enough to win the Pac-12. I mean, obviously the Pac-12 isn't going to be really around anymore.
Right.
But we're still going to a very competitive, very good conference.
Right.
With a lot of the best, with at least UCLA being there too. So we're getting good players. Like Sophia Bell was a good player, but you're correct. It's not happening. I'm now wondering because I still don't really know. I'll try to look it up while I'm talking here. Kelly Graves' contract, he got that extension coming off of that 2020 season, which, does make sense because that was a great team, great season. There was no reason to believe that there was going to be a drop-off per se. And I do have let's see. Graves will now be paid. So
he got that extension, and then he went, I'm going to go Phil Night.
Mm-hmm.
Good night.
There you go. That was good. I like that. So in 2021, he got the extension. So the extension now is it paid him $10.85 million over the course of the next 9 years.
That's not very good.
No, I don't. Honestly, no.
$1 million a year, 1.1.
I mean, it's good in like the scheme of like the real world, but as far as like big time coaching, it is a little low. You would think. Like for, the best college football coaches are getting like $10 million a year, but those are the absolute best. Just to compare that.
Well, it also has got me thinking. At the professional level, players have to pay taxes whenever they play out-of-state games because of some weird thing that happens. I forget how their contracts work. But I wonder if that's the same for coaches. Are college coaches having to pay to be there? I don't know. I have
Probably
to look into
not.
this. Right. It wouldn't make sense. But
well, anyway, it's a good college basketball salary. But I mean, I do have a buyout here, which just makes me think. I mean, it really paints a picture here because the buyout contract includes a $500,000 buyout prior to May 31st, 2024. It drops down to $250,000 after that. In my head, $500,000. That is absolutely nothing for big time college athletics. I mean, there are players making that much money.
Why pay $500K now when you can just wait a couple more months?
Yeah, no,
and pay half.
Well, I'll tell you this: it is going to come down to it's such a small number that it is going to come down to this is asking the athletic department, how much do you care about women's basketball? How much do you care about Kelly Graves? And then how much does really Phil Knight care about women's basketball? Now, I think they all do care about it. Do they care enough about it to sever what was the connection with what was once seemed to be the best coach possibly in college basketball? I don't think he is that, but, it looked like that at one point. Do they care
they're going to come out of this season real bad.
Yeah.
And the school's going to be like, you're telling me we can either stay here with this deal and spend $10 million over 9 fucking years. Yeah. So we're here for a decade, or for $250,000 we can get out of it right now and
like
spend
April
10 million.
2024. After April 2024, it'd be they would have to
gotta wait a couple months.
Yeah, no, that really would be the time to
because the season's over.
Well, May 31st, 2024. So that means if you want to be like, no, we want the reboot right now. We want them to start working on recruiting and stuff like that. You fire them beforehand. You could wait. It would probably ensure that the next year is going to be harder for the next person. But if it saves you $250,000, sure. But that's kind of chump change. I think the main thing is...
Wait, time out.
Yeah.
I think it's a buyout. So they only have to pay him $250,000.
To fire him.
Right.
Yeah.
Do they still have to pay him the $10 million?
No. The contract is done after they pay the buyout. So it's truly like the money's like not it's not an actual deterrent if they care. If he is here because of the timing of the buyout and such, if he is here after that period. If he's coaching starting next year, then then he's going to be there the whole season, or at least like they're trying to give him one more chance. I think that would be really tough. Obviously, as someone who's talking about it, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I think it would just be like, we're giving you one more shot. Maybe you can, but going into the Big Ten, I would really like to see them make a new move, make some, hopefully, progress.
Yeah.
There's no reason. That money is a non. I'm pretty sure that's an accurate number, and that's a non-factor.
I mean, they'll just be like, "Blop, there it is, bye-bye."
It's fucking nothing. So we'll see what happens. To get some renewed interest in the women's basketball team would probably make up that $250,000.
I think the best thing that we can start asking right now is what coaches are out there that are shaking things up and making really good, smart decisions and moves, but also maybe has a team that, they've helped elevate beyond their skill level, because that's the person we want to be talking to.
I get you, buddy.
You're
we'll keep.
You're also not in the Natty or whatever it's called. The what?
Final Four? What are you talking about?
The big dance? What is it? What do you call it?
Big dance. March Madness.
March Madness. I don't know. Does it have, whenever it's 64 teams, 32 teams, does it have a name?
The Big Dance, March Madness. Those are both. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. It sucks. We should fire him. Anyways.
Yeah, maybe.
Coming up for them, number 10 USC, number 9 UCLA. Then probably their three actual biggest. It's like, if you don't want to be the worst team in the Pac-12, like, forget NIT, forget March Madness. You will not make unless you win the tournament. That's probably not going to happen. NIT, you're probably not going to make, honestly. So get that out of your head.
Yeah.
The three
You're
winnable
playing for
games,
passion now.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be great to upset number 10 USC or number 9 UCLA. After that, it's probably not going to happen. After that, Washington and Washington State. These are huge, huge games. You got to try to win those. Washington's in Seattle, just saying. You could make it. And then
Seattle's in Washington. How odd.
Yeah. California is up after that, and then number 3 Stanford. So those three games, those are your best shots at getting a win the rest of the season. So you would hope so. Right now they are ranked 11 out of 12 Pac-12 teams. They are tied 2-10 conference record with Arizona State. So that win over Arizona State actually ended up being pretty freaking huge, because otherwise we'd be bottom of the barrel.
Oh boy, that sucks.
Yep. So they aren't very good. Let's get into this next game, starting with this next team, men's basketball.
That's right.
Starting with where I got this hat. Oregon versus Washington. I was there.
Yeah, they had you on the
game.
TV.
That is right. I got a free hat. I was too late to get the free glasses, the free sunglasses. They were pretty ugly sunglasses, to tell you the truth. But I wanted them. I did not get them. It's all right. One weird thing that happened is, as I went in with some friends, they had the Hayward Tower, the giant kind of media tower right at Hayward Field.
Yeah.
I believe they did this in honor of Kobe Bryant, which, go nuts, sure, honor him. But I didn't like this. They turned it purple. They turned the tower purple in honor of Kobe Bryant, Lakers. But that was literally right before Oregon UW. That feels weird. It felt like they were like hacking the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't like it. It felt like,
how interesting. Why was that? Kobe's birthday or something?
No, it was his death day, actually. Quite
Jesus, I remember that day.
I do believe I want to say it was, or they were honoring him. I don't know if it was like just Kobe Bryant Day or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my guess too. I got a picture of it. See, so purpley feels weird. Felt weird for me.
Very gothic, very scary.
Yeah.
The whole
It
building
scared me.
is.
I thought it
scary.
would be a bad omen, to tell you the truth. However, it was not, because we did win this game. It could have been a bigger win.
Brother Bear.
I know. Yeah.
Jeez.
It was a close one. It did not need to be a close one.
Yeah. Okay. We're here, thank God, because now is the time I get to ask my question.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, can you walk me through what actually happened here? Because multiple times we blew double-digit leads to make this thing look super duper close.
Yeah.
And scary.
That's exactly what happened. What we're seeing this weekend is I still think this is like, it could be a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are parts of the team, like the roster itself is good. I think there have been just devastating injuries. Nate Biddle didn't play this weekend.
You know what?
What's that?
I'm going to throw out a speculation here, because that's what we're supposed to do, right? We ask questions.
So.
We pontificate.
Mm-hmm.
Because they keep bringing up that he's sitting out because of illness. But then he was like, warm-ups. He was running drills. But then he's not on the court side.
Yeah.
He's back in the locker rooms. It almost makes me wonder if he's got something like Crohn's disease or something, like his bag is just kind of messing up on him right now or whatever. So he's just like, I need a better support system. I don't know.
Something's going on. They certainly say it's an illness, but he's also around the team, so you wouldn't imagine it's necessarily contagious illness.
Right. I think it's something that he's probably struggled with for a while.
It's
that's why I'm like on the weird Crohn's tip, because that would explain why he had to take a quick bathroom break. Was that him, right? A few weeks ago?
I don't know that.
It was right at the beginning of the game. He made a bucket, was going to pass it in, called timeout, ran to the restroom, came back out, kept playing. And I was like, he probably had to adjust something then, maybe.
Well, you keep a watch on his bowels. That'll help.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I'm glad we're the kind of podcast that other podcasts would be like, well, we don't want to speculate. We are like, no, we're here for that.
I mean, I have an inquisitive brain, unfortunately, and I don't see anything. I don't see anything wrong with if he's got Crohn's disease. Who gives a shit?
Well, yeah, he's not playing. That's the main thing. He didn't play either of these games. Keyshawn Bartholomew, we know he has a very serious leg injury. He's out for the season. And he is the kind of player I think that we really could have used, because he was coming off the bench, always had a spark of energy. As of late, was really actually a pretty consistent scorer, pretty good free throw shooter, which ended up being something that we could have used in both these games, to tell you the truth. Because, like you said, we had big leads in this one. Jermaine Couisnard went off 27 field goals. So did Dante. Dante and Couisnard had great games.
Great games.
Couisnard, 27 points. That's what I'm saying, though. 7 to 17, 4 and 9 from three-point range. Dante, 15 points, 9 rebounds. Almost got that double-double. Played 34 minutes, too. Our bench, 15 points from Kwame Evans Jr. I've always really liked his game. He's coming more and more. But Washington, they are a more defensive team. As you know, the first time we played them in Seattle, you could really see that's where they get their energy off forcing the turnovers, off playing transition basketball. And for most of this game, it was not working for them. But then all of a sudden, it really, really was. And they were able to rally back. Ducks led by as many as 20 points. We had a 66 to 46 lead at one point. With 10:25 to play, we had a 20-point lead. The energy actually was pretty low because, there's a good amount of people there. A lot of empty seats too, though, but pretty pretty good crowd. But energy was low because we were leading most of the time. But suddenly, when the game got a lot closer due to us missing free throws, us missing 1 of 11 on our final of our final 11 field goal attempts, we hit one of them. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, we just went cold all of a sudden. Meanwhile, UW, who missed 15 3-pointers in a row at one point in this game, hit their final 3 in the final minutes. 5 minutes. So, like, they were rallying back. It was a 1-point game at one point.
I mean,
yeah,
it's just odd too, because apparently the Huskies were a team that were maxing out at 12 turnovers per game, but we had gotten 10 turnovers off of them just in the first half of this game.
Yeah, so they had 15 over together.
Yeah,
together
okay.
They had 15 turnovers, yeah.
So it's just like, weird dynamic in that game. I have a question for you, since you were there.
Yes.
Do you, by any chance, happen to recall hearing one man much louder than everyone else in the stadium arena?
Not necessarily. It's probably someone closer to the camera.
That was what I was kind of wondering, because it was basically a dude, and I believe he was at both games because I heard the voice again in the next game. But he seems to love to scream about fouls and being very mad about them.
Classic fan.
Yeah, exactly. I just kind of was curious if maybe you were like, oh, yeah, there was this one guy.
Not that I could tell.
Because he was so loud in the feed. It was kind of incredible.
Well, he's probably right next to that camera mic.
Yeah.
But overall, we shot 40% from the floor, 33% from 3.
That ain't great.
Not exactly lighting it up. But, enough to win. Kuznard hit some clutch free throws. Like we said, 27 points. Holy hell. Really helped us out there. Went 9 and 12 from free throw range, free throw line. And then, honestly, one place where we really could have, Jackson Shellstad had a rough weekend. Went 1 of 9, 0 and 5 from 3-point range. That certainly could have helped us, and it could have helped us out even more in the next game, my man.
Oh boy.
So the
game in which we just never got up.
Never got going, dude. Never got going. We had 2 leads, I believe. One early, one
early.
Yeah, really early. One.
It was like
beginning of the second half, I believe.
6-4.
Yeah. This game was there for the taking, and we just fell apart. Yeah.
Was also, the first chunk of it was such a drag with constant whistle blowing.
Yes.
That I was just like, let them play for just come on. Nobody's able to get any kind of momentum going because the refs are blowing it.
Bill Walton was also very much like, let them play. He wanted them to throw it down, big man.
I will have to say this. You brought him up, and I'm going to bring up a counterpart.
Okay.
In the Huskies game.
You're talking about
in Huskies
Ted
game,
Robinson?
The color commentator there was an ex-player as well. I don't know who it was.
Ted Robinson, I want to say.
Oh my God. Give me him every day, all day. As soon as I had to start listening to Bill, I was like, you know what? Bill's that dude that's been around for so long that the people he knows are going to be the officials and the brass. Because every time he brought anyone up, it was their birthdays, and they're like the head official that does this bullshit. And so they're I'm just like, dude, nobody cares about your friend circle because they're all the people who are who I don't give a shit about on the court.
It's getting to the point where it's the point of the season where I'm a little over Bill Walton. It happens every year.
I think the true beauty of him is that I think he will go through time at the same level as Harry Carey, right? Like, he will be remembered as this iconically weirdo, wild announcer type.
Yeah.
But to live in his day-to-day life paints a more detailed story than what his infamy will be. And I do cherish the fact that he will be remembered forever. I think it's great. But
He's a weirdo.
the day-to-day run, waiting for those great moments of Waltonisms, it's long.
You feel for Ted Robinson. You know he likes Bill Walton likes Robinson more than Dave Pasch. He's nicer to him in general.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh wait, maybe I'm confused. I'm not talking about the person who was commentating with Bill Walton. I'm talking about in the other game that had two different announcers. The color commentator.
I was there. Couldn't tell you, dude.
Oh.
Didn't
He was
watch it.
awesome. Because he was talking about all kinds of cool shit the whole time.
Well, there you have it, listeners. Some guy was awesome. You heard it here first.
One of
now,
the announcers.
Against
Whoever the
Wazoo,
color commentator
against
is.
Wazoo, this was billed as the battle for second. This is truly like,
Right.
if you want a chance at winning the Pac-12 championship,
Right.
this is going to be absolutely crucial. Wazoo had won 7 of their last 8 games coming in. And they're a very good defensive team.
Mm-hmm.
They're a very good three-point shooting team. They have a very inspirational player in Rice, their guard Miles Rice, who battled cancer the previous year and has now come back and is giving it all. And he did great, actually. Rice did very well. Led all scorers with 21 points. And we just couldn't hit the broadside of a fucking barn in this game. 36% from the floor, 22%. We only hit 4 3-pointers. Our first 3-pointer was with 8 minutes left in the entire game. That's why we lost.
You can't do it.
It's actually kind of amazing that this was such a game with us hitting our first 3-pointer 8 minutes left in the game. It was also 58-56 with 46 seconds left in the game. Like, this was there for the taking.
Yeah, this was a game that elevated at the end, I feel like.
Yeah, and specifically for Wazoo, certainly.
Right.
And for free throws, we missed 6 of them. That certainly would have come in handy. If we hit all 6 of those, it's a tie game. Or, it's at least certainly closer, changes what we can do in the future. And then not only that, but speaking of basics, we aren't, I believe, like, we don't collect the rebound on the missed free throws. That's as simple, that's as gimme as, that's just like day one of practice. That's what you need to do. Dana Altman himself has just been saying, it's just like, we are making really Bush League easy mistakes for it being February.
Yeah.
We, on paper, like, I've seen this team play at a March Madness, like good March Madness late run level, but we are also making mistakes, basic mistakes that make it so we can't make it.
I'm going to say that these 2 games, though, were also, I would call them more of our, like, swing games, as it really did feel like this was Dante being like, okay, I'm kind of back now. Like, the role has been reestablished. The team is learning how to rework with all that.
Awesome dunk
dude.
right before the half from him. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, the interplay between he and one of our other players, who's the guy that they keep bringing up now because
Kuznard probably, or
he loves Pritchard. He grew up in the shadow of Pritchard. Wants to be just like him.
Jackson Shellstad, who, like I said,
their chemistry
didn't have
together.
a good weekend. He hit 3 shots, 3 of 12, scored 6 points. We desperately needed him to have a little bit better of a game, but Miles Rice shut him down.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think the connection between he and Dante is really strong.
Oh, sure.
And so I think as the team learns how to orchestrate that, because he's genius at the I'm going to go for the layup, but I'm just kidding because now I'm shoveling it off underneath your legs.
Yeah.
To Dante, who's just going to smash it in your face.
I mean, I still love Shellstat. I think he's so talented. He definitely needs another year here. It's not going to help him to go to the NBA. I don't know what to tell. This was a really tough one. This is against a good team. But you just hope that at home with this kind of the stakes, you would hope that we just had more in us, and we did not. The last time we played them was a crazy back and forth game. Only 4 points from our bench. Again, this is like the key game that a Keyshawn Barthélemy or maybe Biddle giving Dante some rest time. That could have been all the difference. Keyshawn Barthélemy was huge against them on the road earlier this year, but just wasn't in the cards. We only scored 56 points in this game. No one got to 69 this game. And so where does that leave us in the Pac-12 standings? Well, we're third.
Fourth.
Still not bad. Still not bad. We're tied for third with UCLA.
Okay.
I'll
take it.
So anything still, it's unlikely that we're going to win the entire, Pac-12 this year. That would require Washington State to lose at least a couple of times, which is plausible. It would require Arizona losing at least one more game and then losing to us later this year and then probably losing another game. And it also requires us basically going undefeated the rest of the year.
These are all plausible realities, my guy.
It's all plausible. Unlikely, but plausible. It's not, it's not without the realm, out of the realm of possibility. And then it would take that basically and a really good showing in the Pac-12 tournament for us to make March Madness. The other option is for us to win the entire Pac-12 tournament.
Let's do that.
That would be pretty fun. That's also plausible. So we're still there. We still got a fighting chance.
We got all the
fighting
inspiration
Ducks.
we need. We're there. This game is ours. Or this
still,
world is ours.
We got talent. It's all there for the taking. We don't control our own destiny anymore, but it's still up there. Aaron, I still love this team. I just need one of our teams to make the tournament. That's all I want. And I'm not talking about the goddamn WNIT or the NIT. I need them to make the real tournament. That's all I want, Aaron.
We'll do it. Don't worry. We're there. We're on top of it. Everything's going exactly how it's supposed to. The universe folds in upon itself exactly the way it's supposed to.
Well, speaking of everything going exactly the way it's supposed to, Aaron, we've come to the end of the show. It's been a lovely show. I've loved talking to you once again.
And
we
hey,
got
I
some
want to
teams up coming up.
I just want to say real quick.
What's that?
I'm not trying to say that if he's got Crohn's, he should just, toughen up or whatever. Like, that shit sucks for sure. But I'm just speculating that I feel like it's more of like what I would they're using the word sickness, but I'm almost wondering if it's really more of just like a health thing, like he's got real bad asthma. He's been dealing with it since 7. We all know about it. Sometimes he gets hit real hard in these cold winter months. I don't know. I'm just saying, I didn't want to make anybody out there who's dealing with this shitty disease to feel like I was dismantling them.
What you're saying is you're here to speculate. You're not here to sell hate.
Right. I'm not trying to, I wasn't trying to cast aspersion upon anything. I was simply allowing my conspiratorial brain to flow.
You're not here to cast aspersions. You're here to podcast diversions.
There you go. That's right. I am the great diverter. That's my skill class in Baldur's Gate 3.
There we go. Oh, by the way, good. I'm glad you're sponsored by Baldur's Gate 3. Go out there, be some kind of bard that convinces some villain to kill themselves.
If you play on PlayStation 5, enter in the promo code QUACK12 when you purchase to receive an additional 20% off the retail value of a digital download, which I believe is $69.99.
Absolutely.
So every dollar counts. Quack12, put it in the promo code, everybody.
It'll definitely work. He's not lying right now. Aaron, I'll see you next week. We got 1 men's game, 2 women's game. Let's hope for 3 wins.
Let's hope for 3 televised.
Not gonna happen. All right, we'll see y'all next week.
Bye. Quack, quack. Quack.